Hello everyone and welcome. Today we're going to talk about a change that was just announced that will go live on the 16th of December that a lot of people on the Japanese Twitter are not happy about, very angry about, very angry, but also a lot of people that I've talked to are very happy about this and don't understand why people are sad about this at all and feel very happy about this. So what is going on? So the change that has been announced is that the maximum amount of MP that a unit can have at Magia level 5, it used to be 200, will now be reduced to 150, which also means that you're now doubling at 150 instead, and the MP that you use to Magia is still 100. So now instead of going from 100, at which point you can Magia, to 200, at which point you can double, now you're going from 100 to 150 to get that double out, but you can't get any more MP than 150. That's the cap now. So this seems pretty good, right? You can just double faster. Every character can now double faster. Faster doubles, awesome. More doubles everywhere, nice. But why is everyone so angry? Not everyone, but why are people so angry about this? Well, because of this, one mechanic just got nerfed a little bit, and that mechanic is the thing that says down here, MP start. So if you have this more, for example, the stories that starts here, it has MP gauge increased on battle start 10% of your full gauge. Full gauge at Magia level 5 is 200 MP, or used to be, so instead of getting 20 MP, so you used to get 20 MP, now after the change, after the 16th, you'll get 15 MP. So getting less MP with this Memoria. And also there are a lot of characters that have MP start as part of their spirit enhancement that have been nerfed by this. Most notably, the two queens of ranked mirrors, Nagisa, Valentine's version, and Sudachi. Both of them relied on MP gauge increased on battle start together with, often not always, but often together with this Memoria right here, to start the battle with 50 MP. Now instead they're starting the battle, if they have all these Memoria, at, like at least Valentine's Nagisa will, at 37.5 MP, which is 12.5 less than before, which doesn't sound like that much, but it does make the difference that getting to having Magia ready on your turn 2 has gotten way harder, and that is usually how people get the most amount of points. They get both these characters to Magia, or at least one of them to Magia on turn 2, and then do a whole bunch of cool stuff with that. But now instead, they'll have to switch strategies to getting to turn 3 double instead, which is a lot more RNG dependent, and RNG is never nice in ranked mirrors. However, the third most powerful unit in ranked mirrors, I guess now the most powerful unit in ranked mirrors, was Vampire Kanagi, who hasn't been affected by this at all because she doesn't use MP start the same way these other characters do. So Vampire Kanagi just has gotten more powerful in ranked mirrors. So by nerfing these other two characters, now Vampire Kanagi is like the new queen of ranked mirrors. Good job, well done F4S. And in case you're wondering, will people still be playing Valentine's Nagisa and Sudachi? Yes, they'll just go for turn 3 mirror doubles instead. So they're still playing these characters, they just do a different strategy now. So these characters haven't even been nerfed that much. They just have to play a different strategy now that is more RNG dependent. People don't like that. People really don't like that. However, that's not the reason why actually the most amount of people are angry. Like, there's just a few people that are angry because of Nagisa and because of Sudachi, only a few people. Most people are angry because of something completely different. And the reason why most people are different is this character right here has just gotten nerfed into the fucking ground. Okay, maybe that's a bit overdramatic. It's actually not that big of a nerf. However, something that a lot of people weren't quite aware about, like I've sort of sometimes mentioned it in some of my videos, that a lot of supports, actually most supports, almost all supports in the game, they have some really cool support effects on their Magia maybe, but when you go from Magia to double, those effects don't really get that much stronger. For example, if you are at Magia level 5, don't forget the scaling. This is the scaling right here. I don't mention this that often, but the scaling right here shows you how much more you get per Magia level. So on Magia level 5, you would have 4 of these scaling points. So for example, your MP restore at Magia level 5 would be plus 4, is 31.5, sorry. Rounded to 32, I think. And the damage cut with 2.5% scaling on Magia level 5 would be 45% damage cut for 3 turns. So you have 45% damage cut for 3 turns at Magia level 5 with the Magia. Let's look at double. Well, what do you get with double? You had 45, we got a 50. It took double the MP. For double the MP, you got only 5% more damage cut. And the MP restore goes from 31.5 to 36.5. That's like 5 more MP restore. That's not really that good. And I mean, the damage, yeah, the damage goes up by more than double. But guess what? This is a support. This is a stalling support. You don't care about damage. Damage doesn't really matter. So the only thing you really cared about was MP restore and damage cut. Now, why is it so bad now that this change has been made, and why is this what's so terrible about this? Well, here's the thing. These nodes exist on every single character's spirit enhancement. MP gain up over 100. If you are at, this is important, at 100 MP or over, you get way more MP. Like Madoka gets 40% bonus MP when she's above 100. 40% bonus MP over 100. That's absurd. And this actually applies, and this is also one of the reasons why Madoka was so amazing, even after Spirit Enhancement, especially after Spirit Enhancement, is because MP restore effects also get increased by this. So what you would do is you would have multiple characters like Madoka that have really cool support effects, like Kako maybe like Manaka, for example. Karen Ao, I'm going to name a bunch of these in a bit, but what these characters would do is, what you could do with these characters is, you don't unlock Doppel. You do not unlock Doppel with these characters. You get to 200 MP, and then you just fire off Magias. So you can, for example, if you're at 200 MP with Madoka, you fire a Magia out. The Magia will get you to 100 MP, but then the MP restore happens from the Magia. And guess what? This MP restore, since you're at 100 MP after your Magia, will still count as being at or above 100 MP, and this right here does actually get the 40% MP restore bonus on Madoka herself. And of course, if other allies are also at or above 100 MP, they also get that 40% or higher, whatever they have from their SE bonus for this MP boost. And by doing this, you could repeatedly just churn out Madoka Magias one after another, bam, 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 and other characters that were above 100 as well. They could also keep firing out Magia, bam, 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 bam. You could like rapid fire out Magias, and every single Magia would give you damage cut. This is the important bit. Every single Magia gives damage cut, and you would be running around at like 90% damage cut every single turn. You would be invincible, and this is why double Madoka strategies were so incredibly powerful. You would just bounce between 100 and 200, keep firing off Magias, keep that damage cut high, and you'd be invincible. You'd be absolutely invincible. Other characters would do this too. Karin would do this to get more buffs out. You could get more damage ups with that. Manaka would do that to get more attack ups out. All of these supports, almost all supports do that. Why? Because most supports going from their Magia to their Doppel don't really get better effects. The damage cut goes up by 5% from Magia Doppel. It's the same for most other characters. They have like 40% attack up on Magia and only 45% up on Doppel. Just use 2 Magia, right? The reason why I usually didn't bring this up too often is because I didn't want to tell people not to unlock Doppel, because I know that most people just like Doppels. I like Doppels too. I also unlock Doppels because I just like Doppels, right? I just like them. So I didn't want to tell people to do something that they might not like, because it's like stronger if they play a certain playstyle. But yeah, if you want to play this certain playstyle, it was extremely powerful. This sort of playstyle was absurd, and most people did this in Kimochi to get really high rankings by repeatedly churning out these Magia buffs to keep stacking up buffs. And now you can't do that anymore. Because now when you're at, you can't go to 200 anymore and still be at 100 after your Magia. Now if you go to 150 after your Magia, you'll be at 50, which means you will lose the MP boost bonus, which makes it slower to get back to that 100 and even higher than that to keep throwing out more Magia. So if you do the same strategy, you will now lose out on those MP boost bonuses by quite a lot, and that makes Magia spam really slow. At least, okay, you can still do it rather quickly, but it's a lot slower than before. And here's a list of characters who this specifically impacts. Characters that now are notably worse if you did this playstyle. I need to mention this, by the way, as well, because right now I'm like all doom and gloom. But here's the thing. If you didn't do this playstyle, this doesn't really affect you at all. And this is also why I think most people won't actually care about this. Most people will actually be fine with this. I'm actually fine with this change as well, because I like using Doppels, right? And if you like using Doppels, this is a fine change. But if you don't like using Doppels and you would like to Magia spam instead, here's just a list of some of the characters that have been negatively impacted by this quite heavily. Madoka, Karen, Ao, Kako, Mitama, Manaka, Mayu, Sayuki, and many, many others. Many supports, basically all supports in the entire game, have now been nerfed by this because they can't Magia spam anymore like this. However, like I said, if you haven't been doing Magia spam before, or you didn't even know about Magia spam, or if you did and still liked to Doppel, this is a good change for you. And I shouldn't mention this enough, because I know the comments below this, I know on Reddit, I know on Twitter, there's going to be so much negativity about this change, and I understand it, because I still would like this change not to have happened. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't want this change to happen, but at the same time, I like doppels, right? And if you like doppels, if you like playing with doppels, this is actually a change that will benefit you. This is a change that will benefit you if you like going to doppels. And there are actually some characters, some very few characters, like 5 or so, that actually kind of benefit from this change. And these are characters that actually do get really strong bonuses from Magia to doppel. There are a handful of characters that actually do get way stronger bonuses, and one of them is this little girl right here, is Mikage. Because if you're going from Magia to doppel, we have 40% attack up, 40% damage up, both for 3 turns. Now we have 45 and 45. Okay, that's like 5% more, it's basically nothing, but for 5 turns. Oh wait, for 5 turns, it's almost twice as long. Awesome. Which makes it easier to stack more buffs on it because it lasts for longer, and once you have the buffs stacked, they last for longer. Awesome, cool. This is actually pretty good to have on the doppel, but more importantly, you have the burn on top of that. You get a burn at doppel. Wow, amazing. And this is the reason why burn is so important, because I also mentioned Mayu as being a character that's negatively impacted by this. You play Mayu because you want to stack MP restore, because stacking MP restore is fucking amazing. But Mayu gets a charm at doppel. The reason why that is not that important is because it's charm. Charm is not that great. But the reason why burn is so important, also first off, the charm only lasts for 1 turn. This burn lasts for 3 turns. So on one hand, having status ailment makes it so you get addict killer, so bonus damage against enemies inflicted with status ailments, that gets triggered, but also, because burn is a level 2 status ailment, it makes it so that enemies that are burning take bonus damage from weak element, meaning that in Kimochi, this is amazing, even if it's like a forest type Kimochi. I mean, Mika gets a dark type, right? But even against forest Kimochi, enemies that burn would take bonus damage from fire damage, right? That would be amazing. Or against the light type Kimochi, enemies would take bonus damage from dark, and so on. So that is why the burn is actually really important, and this is why Mikage, for example, in my opinion, is getting buffed. I know some other people still enjoy just getting more attack up and damage up faster by using 2 Magia. Personally, I like stacking over multiple turns and having the buffs last for longer, while also having the burn on top of that. Just personal preference, but for my playstyle, it will be an absolute buff for Mikage, this sort of change. And another character is, I don't have them open right now, Tsuruno and Felicia, the new Tsurofeo unit, are also getting cool new stuff. I think they get a defense down at Magia, at doppel, which they don't get at Magia, so they get a defense down on top of that, and I think their buffs also last for 5 turns now instead of 3 turns, and it feels like kind of going forwards that more characters will get more cool effects at doppel compared to Magia, which makes it more, which makes it better to get to doppel instead of Magia. And here's the thing, in a vacuum, I like this. I like the fact that doppels do more stuff than Magia instead of just damage, because if the effects are the same and you only use them for the effects, then it kind of sucks, right? But if the effects get stronger as well, like the attacker gets stronger because it lasts for more turn, if you get a bonus effect on it, that's awesome. I want that sort of stuff, right? So in a vacuum, I like that, but they did this while at the same time destroying some of the older characters' viability, and that I can't agree with. And this is why I think this change shouldn't have made, because this change comes at the cost of some older characters. And I say it's not just, people are gonna say power creep. To some degree, yes, but to another degree, I mean, Valentine's Nagisa is from 2020. Sudachi is, I think, also, yeah, Sudachi is also from 2020. And they're both getting nerfed as well, so, I mean, the new characters are also getting nerfed, right? I think some other characters from 2020 are also getting nerfed pretty fucking hard with this, so it's not just all the characters getting buffed, it's basically like everyone who isn't like the last 2 characters just got nerfed. Yeah, that's not that great. So yeah, this is basically why some people are happy, why some people are angry, why I'm not gonna say this is in itself a bad change or a good change, because it has its pros, it has its cons, but you know what, tell me in the comments below, is this change something that you like? Are you happy now that you can get to doppel faster, and that you can play characters that have really cool doppels and actually get their doppels out and get some cool stuff with that? Or are you sad that this playstyle of Magia chaining is no longer as good as it was before, while at the same time maybe also being sad that some characters that relied on MP startup, like Valentine's Nagisa or Sudachi, has now been nerfed as well? Tell me in the comments below. Stay civil, or I'm going to read your comments. Hey, that's a question. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and I'll see you guys next time.